How to kill a legend. Step 1. Release a perfectly balanced but strong legend. Step 2. Allow them to be a game changer and dominate the meta. Step 3. Give them the single hardest nerf of any character in the history of the game ever in one patch. And then introduce a new item to make them obsolete. Yeah, that sounds about right. What's poppin', decoys? The Season 9's legacy resident Titanfall expert and Loba simp, Valkyrie, has been a meta-defining legend since her debut. But with the release of Season 17, she took a big hit to her usage with the introduction of Evac towers. This made her nerfs that she received way back in Season 14 hit even harder. Now you already know this, but what you may not know is the reasoning for it. And if I'm right, this could spell disaster for the whole Apex community. Let me explain. Respawn has been wanting to ground Valkyrie for quite some time and remind you of the value that other legends can provide in the same meta, but they failed. Yeah, I know. You're probably wondering, but how? Legends like Wraith and Pathfinder got huge buffs and now they're really good and their pick rates. I know, but there might be a bigger picture that we're missing here. Valkyrie is the ideal and perfect legend. At least she was. She was released arguably as the most balanced legend we've ever seen on launch. She continues to stay relevant compared to other legends that usually fizzle out because they are either underpowered or their kit is too weak. She was able to etch out and secure her own spot in the meta as another repositioning legend meant to rotate over longer distances before and after fights. Although in the same niche as other skirmishers, she was able to separate herself. Her abilities were useful, strong, and somewhat versatile. She had a passive that was essentially high ground. No other character in the game has this ability as a passive. In any other game, this would have been a full-out ability. Okay, never mind. Although her tactical was seen as a non-factor for most, the Rockets were still able to take down doors, apply pressure, doing damage, even though it was just a little bit, but most valuably stunning the opponent for 2.5 seconds. But of course, her ultimate, arguably the most powerful ultimate in the game, considering how many 20 bombs, 4Ks, and tournaments start at the drop and are based on your repositioning. So not only was Valkyrie having a top 3 kit in utility, but her lore, skins, voice lines, and character design, making her have wider appeal. So why change this seemingly perfect legend? Well, maybe she was too perfect. See, day 1 Valk was a little more busted than I might have you believe. Her jetpack fuel cost was significantly lower when hovering, allowing her to stay in the air longer. Even though that did take 3 weeks to fix, once it did, Valkyrie still retained a high pick rate, being a must-pick legend in the highest level of play, with a damn near 100% pick rate and in split 1 of the ALGS playoff finals. That's how vital she was. And that was after getting hit with the biggest haul of nerfs I've ever seen one character get in a single patch, and that was in Season 14. From the Season 14 patch on August 9th, 2022. The acceleration on activation of her passive decreased by 8%, fuel consumption activation increased by 33%, aerial boost and strafing debuffed by 20% when hit by slowing effects, decreasing the slow that enemies get when hit with her tactical from 2.5 to 2, reducing explosion radius from 175 to 125, reducing the high ever skyward dive by 25%, reducing her launch time from 5.5 seconds to 5 seconds, and reducing the speed in which she travels upward on her skyward dive. And they added an orange state on the fuel bar, as well as getting scanned by Mirage decoys. Respawn just clipped Valkyrie's wings, but she still soared. Now compare these stats to split 2 of the ALGS finals, and you can see the difference in this season was staggering. After watching the ALGS myself, only 4 teams were actively using her, with one of them, Ascend, opting to not even use her in their final game. How did Valk take a nosedive? I'm sure you guys already know the answer. It's the Evac towers. On the surface, you wouldn't think much on it. I didn't when they were shown in the trailers. Evac towers require luck and RNG to obtain, while Valkyrie's ultimate is built in. However, Evac towers are incredibly easy to obtain, and that was clear during the ALGS where I saw TSM use 2 Evac towers back to back, making a long rotation quick work. This was in the first ring. Yeah, these 3 literally just flew from Yucatan and made it to the location 15 seconds. when this would have been a 4-minute rotation. Even Valkyrie would have needed 3 minutes to get her ultimate off cooldown. Not only were evac towers easy to acquire, but there wasn't any difference between a Valk ult and an evac. In both situations, you're getting shot from the sky, but at least evac towers have the benefit of allowing players to spin around, making them harder to hit. Respawn just wanted to give players the option to be able to use other classes like support, defense, and recon legends. I wanted to put less of an emphasis on movement and repositioning with a specific legend, believing that movement can be done with any legend, giving players more options to choose from on who can reposition. But is this bad? More options means less stale metas, with different characters being viable. Well, options can be great when they're done right, but with how Apex is going now and bouncing legends, it's all about who can do the most things, not who can do them well. And chances are, those that can do more are the legends that require the least amount of brain power, while the higher skilled legends that are exceptional have less of an impact because they can't do a variety of things. Let me show you. These are the pick rates of all the legends in Bronze, and this is the pick rates of all the legends in Apex Predator. I know ranked is busted, but still. Now look at the pick rates of the ALGS Split 2. Notice how the top skirmishing legends completely fall off in ALGS. Skillful legends like Pathfinder and Wraith are nowhere to be seen, but easier to play legends and versatile legends are at the top, like Seer, Catalyst, Bangalore, and Horizon. Yes, if you really believe the Horizon is a high skill legend, I don't know what to tell you. Now, this doesn't apply to every legend, but there is a correlation. And if you look at Valk, after losing her versatility, no longer able to damage opponents reliably with her tactical, the fact that her ultimate was so strong outweighed all the nerfs. And the evac towers make her less of a must pick. Now, this isn't the worst thing in the world. A less Valk dominated meta is kind of a good thing, and Bangalore has rise to the top, each character taking their own turn. But here's my theory on how this could be good or very bad. Either Apex is trying to nerf OP legends rather than buff weaker legends to make the game more balanced, or Respawn is playing to make the high skill legends have less of an impact at the highest level, allowing for easier and lower skilled legends to be overpowered and meta defining because they have a wider accessibility. This change could significantly end the skill in Apex Legends. Or I'm way off and I'm just chatting. But hey, at least he's getting a prestige skin. Revenant's rear could possibly make him a very scary legend. But until then, you can watch this video about when Revenant was overpowered and low skilled. What you think about the legend balancing and how Valk is in the current meta. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Be mighty.